Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not late. That's okay. It's good to see you guys. I'm just gonna give it a minute so people can come in and join to see who else we're gonna have. Hi Stephanie. Hi Hannah.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a minute. We've got a lot to go through today, and I think, well, this is probably the last call before I pop this baby out. I think we'll see. I don't know exactly, but I hope it is. I don't want to be sat here in another month in this condition. Oh, okay. So I hope you guys are well. I've had a couple of emails from some of our regs for them to say sorry they couldn't make it this week, but it's okay. We're going big and discussing some updates and some things which are happening around 1nSourcing this week. Really big developments in Virtual Miss Friday. Don't know where it sprang from. It just came to mind and then I set to work and, you know, good stuff appeared. So I'm going to share that with you this week. I probably will give it one more minute and then I will start the presentation. Stephanie says, this is my first experience here with you, so please excuse if I'm quiet and just observe. That's absolutely fine. We like lurkers, we like non-lurkers. No problem at all. Hi, Amanda. Awesome. Okay. Oh, Stephanie, have you got a glass of wine? Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Only another month to go. Look at this. Look, no wine for me right now. No wine for me. Megan says she loves seeing newcomers. We do. Oh, Petra's on the call and Amanda made it back from the vet. I spoke to Amanda earlier. She was on her way to the vet and she's back again. And Hannah says it's 9:30, so it's a bit too early for a glass of wine. Hey, it's after 5 p.m. somewhere. That's all that matters. It's all that matters. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start because I've got a fair amount to go through today. And, you know, like I say, it's lots of new updates and things like that. Stephanie says 5:30 p.m. in South Africa as well. Exactly. So who cares, really? I mean, and I have been known to day drink myself, so it's okay. You know, before the baby and everything. And I'm looking forward to a nice glass of wine in, who knows, maybe 2-3 weeks, something like that. I hope. Okay. So what we're going to discuss today is 1nSourcing. So some of you are aware of 1nSourcing, what it is. Some of you might not be. I'm not sure. I think most of you are. But basically, this call is, I mean, it's to support people inside my academy. It's to help people with their questions. It's to help people just generally, if they've got anything that they want to talk about online businessy wise. But generally, every month we try to come up with some kind of a theme. Last month we talked about parenting and running a business at home. And this month we're going to talk about the 1nSourcing business model, which is the business model that I created inside Virtual Miss Friday. Which is kind of fairly unique because it comes from both perspectives of working with a client and working with a VA. And it's sort of a concept I came up with and I created the training. And after that, I never kind of took it any further. And I felt that now is the time to sort of make it more accessible for people and things like that. So we're going to be talking about how this business model has kind of evolved for online service providers. So it's for freelancers, it's for virtual assistants, anybody providing any kind of service online can use this business model or adopt this business model to be able to help their own customers and clients. And for many of you know, I have a lot of training programs which are associated with it for the different areas and the different aspects of it, I guess we can say. And now I have something that's going to really help people with the understanding of it, because a lot of people have said to me, this is something I've planned to do for a long time, like, how do we really communicate the value of OneSourcing, what it is, how it works, the benefits of it for the client. So I've listened and hopefully I've delivered. So I will be able to share this with you on the call. So what I'm going to do is I am going to screen share because I've got a quick presentation. And then I'm going to take you through a couple of pages and a couple of changes on Virtual Miss Friday site. Just to kind of introduce you to what's happened or what's been different. So I'm going to do this first, but if you have any questions, either relating to OneSourcing or relating to something completely different, relating to online business, any problems, issues, concerns you've had, anything, please do leave them in the chat and then we can get to those at the end. Okay, screen sharing now, going in. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see that. I don't know if it's really, is it showing up really small for you? I'm not sure. I can go like really widescreen, but I tend not to want to, but can everyone see that? Give me a nod. Yeah, okay, cool. So here we are in March 2021, a year of COVID. We've been in COVID for a year, which is insane. It felt like only yesterday I was starting to tell people about, how to temporarily set their businesses up, working from home and things like that, and how to manage COVID. And here we are a year on and we're still in it. But yeah, so in this call, we're going to look at the new OneSourcing kit, which I've put together. Plus, you get all the latest VMF updates and you're able to ask questions personally at the end. Obviously, just leave them in the chat, anything you think of. So we're going to be taking the OneSourcing free information kit, which is now live and available. It's designed for VAs, freelancers, and any online service providers. Then what's included in the OneSourcing brand kit, because we now have a brand kit, sounds very fancy, but we have a brand kit for OneSourcing, which I'm going to share with you what's inside there. And I hope this is going to make a huge difference to the people who are adopting OneSourcing as a business model, because there is loads of things in there which are going to keep everything very uniform and sort of very structured for people implementing the business model, which I'm really excited about. And I'll then show you how this is set up on my own site at Virtual Miss Friday. And then I have a very special offer for you guys. So that's basically what we're going to be discussing today. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Michelle Dale. I like wine. Obviously, you've all discovered that from the first 5 minutes of this call. And I am an entrepreneur, I suppose, digital nomad, and work from anywhere mum. This is baby number 4, by the way, if you've not realized. I'm also the founder of Virtual Miss Friday, and I created OneSourcing. I specialize in scalable online business operations for solo entrepreneurs and small to medium businesses. And I excel really in team dynamics. That's when my business really took off, when I started hiring a team. With an overall focus on developing exceptional online training resources for freelancers and virtual assistants around the world. That's a recent photo. I've just updated my profile photo everywhere. I don't know whether you guys noticed, but I thought it was okay. And that was a random event that I went to where they were doing headshots, and I decided to get one, which, thank you, universe. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the free kit. So I have created for you guys a free kit. It's in a free information kit, which is really going to help you understand and drill down into all the basics of OneSourcing to see if it's the right kind of business model for you and your business. A lot of people associate OneSourcing with having a team already, and that's not always the case. There's plenty of people who are out there calling themselves OneSourcers, and they're still only solo VAs, but they tend to have a vision that one day they want to be able to hire a virtual assistant, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe have a full team. So I've put this kit together to really help communicate what this OneSourcing business model is all about. So inside this free kit, and I will post the link for you as well in the chat. How about I just do that now, you know, while we're here. So Megan says she loves that photo. That's so nice. Megan said, for a minute, I thought you said small comedian business. I'm not that funny, sadly. But who knows? That could be a future career prospect. virtualmissfriday.com / 1sourcing-kit. So you can go directly to that link and you'll be able to get this. So there's a 28-page ebook in there that includes the front and back cover. So technically it's 26 pages. It's an ebook which basically goes through and explains these individual parts of OneSourcing. So it goes through what are the main benefits of OneSourcing to the clients, because that's one of the big things that people have said, like, how do we sort of really simply communicate the benefits of this model to the clients? So I've done that for you. It goes through the model building blocks of OneSourcing, and it allows you to give a lot of structure to your service business, which wouldn't have normally been there before. And also how the name was born, how OneSourcing came about, because sometimes people call it different things, but it did kind of evolve. So I've explained that in depth in the book. Then we go into the vision, mission, and core values of OneSourcing, which obviously primarily apply to the virtual assistants. And that's why it's inside the free kit, but we've done something else in the brand kit for that. So it's all based on equal importance of both client and virtual assistant. There's a lot of expectation management in OneSourcing, which isn't normally in the normal virtual assistant models. I'm really heavy on the expectation management and the mutual equal importance. It's a very all-encompassing model, which I've explained. It's adaptable and flexible, and it has unquantifiable longevity. So I explain all that in the book about what those core values mean. But I think many of you have heard me talk about unquantifiable longevity in terms of not being able to quantify the service with the hourly rates, and how important that is in online business, particularly in the service industry these days, because so many people are doing comparisons on the task and the hourly rate of the task and how long it takes to complete the task. So there was becoming like a huge focus in on time. It was a good model to start with. I was charging by the hour to start with, until I was realizing that my business wasn't as profitable as it could be if I was using a different pricing model. So we created our own pricing model inside OneSourcing, which is the roles and the budget model rather than the services and the hourly rate model. Then we go into the OneSourcing flow and how that works. And the OneSourcing flow is just basically the step-by-step process of how OneSourcing works, from the consultation right through to the end result to the client. Then I put links to testimonials in there from both people who are using my academy and my training, and also the clients and customers that we've worked with. And then there is the OneSourcing comparison, which is basically then sort of doing a comparison between all the other standard outsourcing models. There are loads of models out there on the Online Business Manager and things like that, but I've stuck to the 3 core ones, which people are usually looking at when they're starting to think about hiring support for their business, which is obviously DIY, but they're moving past the DIY stage. They're going into virtual assistants. Then a lot of people are thinking about getting project managers. A lot of people are thinking about hiring agencies. So those tend to be the 3 main outsourcing options available to the client. But what we do with OneSourcing is we take the best parts of those 3 options, and then we create them into one new sort of hybrid option, which is OneSourcing. Because obviously I've worked in all 3 of those, either supporting clients who are working with agencies or project managers. There's been a lot of corporate organizations I've worked with who are using project managers and agencies. There's a lot of individual people, solo entrepreneurs that are using a lot of VAs. So you get to see from a sort of outside perspective what's working for them and what's not working. So what I wanted to do is, I mean, obviously there's bits and pieces of, and pros and cons of all these different types of models, but I wanted to take all the best bits and all the things the client really desires from hiring virtual assistants or project managers or hiring an agency. And I wanted to inject those into OneSourcing to create this model. And then I've done a summary of the individual benefits to the clients and the OneSourcers, but also the people who are working on the team as well. So that's inside the book. Then finally, we're going on into the startup of OneSourcing. So I've done a kind of estimated outline of startup costs or things you need to think about when you're starting up your OneSourcing business. I have then got, which are training, online presence, systems and tools, obviously, the OneSourcing team, if it's more than just yourself or you want to expand into more than just yourself, and then the marketing. So those are the main core aspects that we look at in terms of startup costs. Then we look at whether OneSourcing is really right for you. It's a good question, or a series of questions that you can ask yourself, and then how to get started. So that's all inside the ebook that's been created. And also I have broken the ebook down because I know not everybody likes to read, or you get books on your device or whatever and you never quite seem to get around to them. So I've done also a short video course for you which summarizes the ebook. So there is a series of 5 videos. I've broken down essentially the ebook into those 5 videos. So it's about 45 minutes of viewing time. So if you prefer to watch rather than read, then you can access those videos and watch those videos. And then finally is the OneSourcing framework, which is the 4 infographics for each section of the specific OneSourcing training. And then there's videos to accompany them. If you've been following me for a while, you'll probably recognize these videos from the sales pages of the individual courses, which is supporter, entrepreneur, consultant, and business, which is just basically the model, the OneSourcing business model. So that's inside the free kit, and that's available to you to go and check out whenever you want. Megan says, if you're in the US, you actually might be better off to charge by package long term. Yeah, because of all the changes that are occurring out in the US, I'm guessing, and not, you know, it's not favorable now to charge an hourly rate because of the plans that I believe it's the government have in terms of what's considered employee, what's considered freelancer, that type of thing. So yeah, so Megan says definitely consider moving to that if you're not already. So we already know that there's so many benefits and there's so many good things about the pricing model in OneSourcing that I think outweigh the normal standard kind of hourly rate. Ellen Sampson, how would we better assess that? What do you mean, Ellen? Can you elaborate on the question? While you do that, I'll just, oh, go on.
Can you hear me? Yeah, the how to rate by package long term, like what would you recommend? Because I'm not actually up on the current things that are coming. I've heard about that, the trend, because I am in the US.
Okay. Megan is the perfect person to talk to about this. She's actually on the call.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple things. It's this originally, I did an interview with sorry to hijack your call.
No, thank you for being
but this originally became kind of, people became more aware of it when this all started happening out in California. And then now the federal government has a bill that they're looking to pass that already went through the House, and now it's going to the Senate for approval. There's 3 different parts to classification now, so it's no longer okay to just say, like, in your work agreement, whether it's an actual contract or just like, you know, these are the terms of working together kind of thing. It's no longer okay to just say, like, the client understands that I'm not an employee, I am a contractor, freelance, blah, blah, blah. That used to be okay. Now they have a 3-part test, And one is that the client, and I'm giving you kind of like the brief version of this, but one is that you have to be free from control of the client, which a lot of times with virtual assistants or even other contractors, that's not usually an issue. That part of the test is, you know, they can't dictate when you work, the hours of your work, blah, 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 blah. Then part B becomes a problem. And then part C is that they look at the nature of the communication between you and the client. So if there's any communication within an email that implies or indicates that you have more of an employee relationship versus a contractor relationship, that could be a red flag. The big issue is this part B of the test, the ABC test, and that is in essence, you cannot do contract work for a company that the type of work you're doing for a company cannot be in line with their primary line of business. So for example, if you are a carpenter and you are working for a building company that builds houses, you as a carpenter can no longer be a contract worker. You actually have to become an employee of the construction company. If you are a musician or you are a camera, I mean, this is why I'm bringing this up, because it's not just our world as VAs, but then like even if you, yeah, and then musicians, so now music venues out in California have to bring on each band that does a gig, well, when they're open, but they would have to bring on each band as a temporary employee.
So is this anybody just California or national now?
Right now it's in 13 states. The federal bill would then essentially apply this whole blanket across the US. One of the things, the reason I said that about the packages is because one of the things that this attorney, and I'm happy to share the interview, it was like an hour and a half, it just kept going because people kept asking questions. So I'm happy, I have a link to that if you want it and whatever. But so the nature, I think this was, I don't know if it was part of part A or part C, I can't really recall, but one of the reasons I brought this up is a working relationship with a client, the nature of that relationship, if you're charging hourly, that would lend itself more to an employee-employer relationship versus a package that you're offering them per month. And it can't be a package of like, hey, you'll get 10 hours of work for me a month, because essentially they break that down and it's hourly. You have to say, for this amount of money, these are the things that will get done. Now, that's not to say you can't add on to that, because even, you know, even not us, but let's say, again, you're a construction worker, you might bid out a project, but then additional things come up, you can do add-ons, but it has to be structured in a very specific way where you don't continuously reference an hourly thing. Okay. So I don't know, there's the 13 states have an ABC test, but then there's other states that like here, I'm in Wisconsin. Here in Wisconsin, we have to suffice parts A and C, but not part B. And part B is that one that I said is like going to be really the big crux of the issue, because a lot of times these contractors, I say in general terms, but you're working with people in the line of business that their primary line of business is what you do. That's how they grow their business. So it becomes very sticky and complicated. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it did. Thank you. I just, yeah, this is a very valid concern in the States then if it's growing, because I knew California was getting janky just because of the rideshare industry, the gig economy. So I was aware of that. I didn't realize it had already gone like to 13 states. So I just posted, Michelle, I don't know if what would be most appropriate, not just for me, but for anybody else in the States, if we can somehow round about and have either a separate discussion or email or something in order to address this in the best way.
Sure. I mean, I think, Megan, maybe you and I can talk about that, and maybe we could put together a call or something, or it just, if you, I think me and Megan can talk about that, and then Ellen, we can put something out there for it. Or do share the link with the call that you already did with that. It was a lady.
With Emily V. Baker. She's freaking fantastic, by the way. Okay, I will find.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm just gonna mute you guys again. That's okay. I'm just gonna mute you guys again. Not because I don't love you, but because just gonna crack on. But it's a really good point. And also it's also pertinent to mention as well that this is only applicable to clients in the United States. I don't think it applies if you're looking to work with clients outside of the United States. So thank God for me, I can still work with Megan if she still wants to. Yeah, so that's also another thing. So I mean, worst comes to worst, could you potentially just start working with clients outside the United States if you are from the United States? That's another thing to think about. Just while we are here, Dagmar, I know we said questions at the end, but Dagmar said, where is the best place to look for my supporters that I need on my team? It's a really, really good question. So what I would always suggest you first of all do is get really super clear on what you're looking for. So inside the 1nSourcing entrepreneur program, inside the academy in the training, there is a module in there that you can go and check out. It's module 6, which is all about teams. So in there is a whole module dedicated to timing and economics of hiring, creating role descriptions, going through the selection process of who to hire, the hiring and intake, and then the team management. So definitely go and check that out. Module 6 of the 1nSourcing entrepreneur, if you're looking to hire, that will help you kind of get all your ducks in a row and get everything kind of set. Then I would say you've got several different options. I have hired many people off of Upwork before in the past, which if you go through this selection process that I've shared with you, you should be able to find some good people. If you don't use that selection process, it can be a very time-consuming and laborious task to hire from Upwork. So definitely go through module 6 before you consider going to one of the freelancer sites or the hire sites. The other option you have, and I can give you a few links, is to go and hire through some of the groups. So if you are part of 1nSourcing or you're part of the training, obviously our group where we have our members who are taking the courses is good. I'm going to put the links in here. Then we also have our free group if you want to post the job. And then also our LinkedIn group is a pretty good place and people are posting jobs there quite often. And that's a pretty active group as well. I think we last checked, when I last checked, yeah, it has nearly 20,000 members now in the LinkedIn group. So definitely go check out as a starting point. Like I say, go through that module just to make sure you've got everything ready and you know exactly what you're doing and exactly your process of hiring or vetting people to work with you. And then you can start looking on places like Upwork, post a job there, and also you can look through the groups as well. So hope that does help. Megan, sorry, Ellen says, should I just send my email to you so we can communicate about this outside of the call? Sure. You can write into support@virtualmissfriday.com, then anything that you need or you want to know about, we can start collaborating there. But also Megan's just posted the link to her free call replay in the chat as well. Okay, so moving on to the next part. So you've got the free kit now. It explains everything in VA language. So that kit is really designed not so much from the client perspective, but more from the VA perspective, looking at kind of how you communicate 1nSourcing to people, explaining 1nSourcing to you, the benefits of the model. So it gives you an idea about whether that's the right model for you to choose for your business or not. The second thing is, if you decide it is the right model and you want to enter into 1nSourcing, I have now put together an amazing brand kit, which goes live on April 5th. We're still just ironing out some of the details, but on April 5th, there will be, the brand kit will be going live and will be available to anybody who wants to adopt the one sourcing model and go through this brand process. So there will be a brand license and agreement. So a brand license means renting or leasing an intangible asset. In this case, it's the one sourcing brand. And it's simply a process of creating and managing contracts between the owner of the brand, which is me, and the companies or the individuals who want to use the brand in association with their business. So, or the virtual assistant. So that would be you guys. Of the online service business for an agreed period. So we're going to have like an annual renewal on the brand license agreement for as long as you want to use it, which allows you to basically adopt all of this good stuff that I've created for you to really rebrand your VA services as one sourcing. So what I've done is inside this brand kit, I've put together a guide, I guess you would call it, on how to adapt your business to one sourcing. It doesn't mean that you completely take away from your business. Your business stays as it is, but it shows you how to use this guide to incorporate one sourcing as your business model in your business. So you still keep your logo, your name, everything like that stays the same, but it shows you how to introduce one sourcing as your business model for providing services to clients. So what I've done is I've put together a certificate of recognition for everyone who has a brand license and wants to adopt it as one sourcing. So that's kind of like your official, like, yes, I'm officially in one sourcing and I am allowed to use it for my business. I've done a brand copy template, which is all the one sourcing copy that you're going to need to set up your services page, which you can then adapt to your own one sourcing business. I've also put in there a one sourcing logo and a one sourcing pledge, which is basically the pledge is the guidelines or the mutual agreement between the one sourcer and the client. And that really came about from feeling or knowing or experiencing what people and feedback I'm getting from people feeling like either the relationship is very one-sided. I've had clients come to me feeling like they're not heard or not fully supported. I've also had VAs come to me who are feeling like, there's lots of problems with their clients that could have been avoided. There's a lot of disrespect happening and things like that. So I wanted to come up with this pledge to kind of put in place these guidelines that eliminate all these issues between the client and the one sourcer that can be seen up front. So the relationship doesn't land in stress, basically. So you've got the one sourcing pledge in there, and these are all white label, just one sourcing branded stuff. There's no virtual Miss Friday in there at all on any of these things. It's just one sourcing that you could take and use in your own business. So that's a PDF. Then also there is the one sourcing agreement. So I've done a generic one sourcing agreement template, which is specific to one sourcing, which you can then again use in your own business with your own clients. And that one sourcing agreement is between yourself and the client who you're working with. And then I've done 4 videos. They're generic white label, like non-branded Virtual Miss Friday videos, which go through the 4 key kind of areas of one sourcing that you can communicate to the client. So the meaning of one sourcing, then we go through the comparison between the other models, how one sourcing works, and then also the pledge. So there's 4 videos in there that you can use on your own website. You'll get the MP4 files, so you can upload them into your own account, into your own YouTube account, Vimeo, whatever. You can also potentially edit those files. I'll give you the raw presentations as well. So if you want to do your own voiceover or your own additions, you can do those. There is also a light and a dark version to match any kind of brand that you have already. So I've kept it, again, very generic. So this one sourcing can be injected in and just work with any kind of existing business that you already have. And the videos are something that people have really been asking me for over a long period of time, to be able to communicate really just what one sourcing is and the pure benefits of it for the clients. So I've worked really hard on this, and it's really come together really well. And you'll also get the video thumbnail covers, like I say, the raw presentations. You can make your own videos, you can adapt them, you can change them. It's up to you what you want to do. And that is all inside the 1sourcing brand kit, which is going live on April 5th. So I'm going to, in a second, take you through my services page just so you can see generally what I've put together that is more generic that you'll be able to use when you brand yourself as 1sourcing. And then also we have a really special offer that if you want to get all the training for 1sourcing and own it and be eligible for the brand license and everything like that, instead of $1,997 for everything, all the training and everything that's included, it's $997 until April 5th, until that brand license goes live. So if you want to jump on board with 1sourcing, get all the training, all the business model, all the information, you know, you hear me mention about different programs and things and stuff on these calls, like 1sourcing supporter or entrepreneur, whatever. All of that is inside there. So you don't have to think about anything else. If you just want to adopt that model and you want to move forward with your service business, just like that, it's all laid out for you step by step, point by point. So that link or discount link is there for you. I am going to post that in the chat as well, because obviously it's just like a graphic right now. And then we'll just switch over and I'll just show you like more in real time what that looks like. Where are you, Link? Okay. Okay, so if you're interested in 1sourcing, half price right now until April 5th. And all this good stuff is coming out on April 5th. So I'm just going to go in now to the 1sourcing kit. So this is the kit that I was talking to you about, which you can access on 1sourcing-kit. So that you've got the ebook, you can download it as a PDF. You can watch those videos. Like I say, they're not very long, 9 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and 16 minutes and 9 minutes. Then there's the framework videos with the infographics, and there's also a 50% offer in there if you just want to join the monthly subscription, which is huge because normally that's $197 a month and that's $97 a month there. So that's if you want to join essential coaching, marketing and digital training, and then have me also work with you and coach you through that too. So that's the free kit. Then this is now my 1sourcing page. So what I've done is I've adopted a lot of the things that I put in the brand kit and put them on my page as well. So you will, I mean, this is my video here. I've put the video together. So that's also like a kind of like implementing all the different parts of the 4 videos I put together in the brand kit. There is all this copy in a generic form, so you can go away and take it and use it yourself. There's also a light and dark version of the pledge. I've made mine red, so it distinguishes it from you guys. Then obviously the packages, you can learn in Virtual Miss Friday how to put those packages together. We have a pricing formula that's very specific to 1sourcing about how to create these packages that are fixed rates. And then obviously the flow is generally you do the consultation process and then you move on to the systems and tools and you move on to the services and then you move on to being the one responsible for overseeing everything, hence 1sourcing. There is also the getting started text in there as well. I've added my own FAQ questions and my own blurb to the client agreement, but you will also have a generic copy and a generic version of the client agreement inside the brand kit, which I've put mine in Adobe Sign. So you don't have to keep making different agreements for different clients. So you'll get the generic 1sourcing version of that. And also the pledge and everything like that. So that's going to all be available to you inside the brand kit with the brand license. So you essentially can set up your own 1sourcing business without having to do the hard work behind the scenes of putting together all this information about how to pitch and sell the service. And also present it as well. So a lot of the presentation is done for you. When we've put together the pledge, it's all designed, it's done in PDF format, it's ready for you to just go and use. Same thing with videos, ready for you to just go and upload and use. There's nothing that you have to do. It's all essentially been done for you. So I'm going to stop screen sharing now. And that's pretty much all I had to share with you on the 1Sourcing updates. They're pretty big updates, but I feel like it's time for things to go more in that direction. A lot of people have been interested in the one, you know, it all came from I've been doing a lot of consultations. I think business is generally starting to pick up in the world right now, and a lot of clients and potential clients have been asking me about the model, and some people have been moving over to me because of the model as well. So I think that could be a really good selling point for your business too. We've picked up a few people along the way. Who do we have here now? Dora and Adele, welcome. Christiana, welcome. Okay, so guys, we're moving on now into doing Q&A. So if anybody wants to ask any questions or go through anything or ask me anything about 1Sourcing or anything like that, we can go ahead and chat about that now. It's entirely up to you. Megan says she loves it. Yay, that's so cool. I'm really pleased. The videos are voiced over by me. So the generic videos have my voice on them, but I don't mention my name. I don't mention Virtual Miss Friday. I've done it in my best voice that I could possibly do it. So if you're an American, you've got this strange English lady doing the voiceovers on your videos, you may want to change them. But the videos are just my voice, but there's nothing else associating the video with me at all. I don't mention name, I don't mention Virtual Miss Friday. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put the presentation slides, which I used inside the video, in their generic format inside the bracket as well. So if you guys wanted to go ahead and put those in Prezi or Canva or whatever you want to do, whatever your video recording software is of your choice, you can do that and you can record the videos yourself. And the presentation slides are scripted. So if you don't want to think about your own stuff to say on the video, you literally just read the slide that's in front of you, and that you don't have to think about anything else. So you could change the voice if you wanted to, and record a new version of the video. So, but if you don't have any recording software or anything like that, or you know, you're a bit rabbit in the headlights with technology and stuff, you can just use the ones I voiced over. Or there is a very interesting tool I found. I don't know if I can find it again, but when I was looking at this, I was thinking to myself, do I do one of those generic voices? And I tried it and it sounded so strange, but I found this tool that allowed you to put in like text. Oh, here it is, natural readers. It allowed you to put in text. So essentially what you could do is take the text from the video and put it in this, it's called naturalreaders.com online, and it gives you like this voiceover, and you can choose an American voice, an English voice, male or female. There's different female and male versions of the voice and things like that. So I did attempt to do one video using that, and I thought in the end that an actual real voice would probably be better. But that doesn't mean to say if you don't want to use my voice, you can't use a tool like this Natural Readers. And like I say, it was free and it's so easy to use. You just put the text in, so you can take the text off the slides. You can put them into this piece of, I don't know, this online tool, shall we call it? And then you just select what kind of voice that you want. Let me just screen share so I can show you. Where are we? Here we are. Yeah, so this is it. And like I say, you don't log in, you just go directly to it and do it. So you put your text in here. And then obviously when you want it to segment, you kind of put a space in between the lines. And then you can choose your speaker from up here. So the free version, you've got the free versions here in all kinds of different formats. US English obviously is the most popular here. Daniel in UK English, George in Spanish. So you choose which one you want, and then you basically put the text in. You can click play and listen to it to make sure it sounds okay. And then you just click download and you can download the MP3 file. What you do with it then is entirely up to you. I use ScreenFlow on a Mac. So basically what I would do is just open up the presentation, import the presentation slides into ScreenFlow, import the MP3 file into ScreenFlow, and then you can just put them together with the voiceover. So that's one option for you. If you don't want to do that, obviously, and you do have screen recording software, then you can just go ahead and record screen and talk yourself. Like I say, it's scripted. So there's nothing for you to really think about. If you want to make your own script, that's totally fine as well. You can do that, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So I've kind of made this as easy as I possibly can for you, to be able to take this generic brand kit and make it your own. Yeah, I always love looking for these little resource things. Maybe I should share flex clips as well. This is another one. People have been asking me about my little videos that I do sometimes, and there's this free tool called flex clips that I use to make little videos, which you can also use to use any of the items in the brand kit to make your own little clips and things like that, whether it be the text or the copy. But basically what I do is I make the little flex clip videos, and it's like a drag and drop tool to make little advert videos. You put them in there, and if you want to be sneaky, because it's the free version, what it will do is it will add like a little bit of flex clip branding at the beginning. But you can use a tool like ScreenFlow or Camtasia if you're on a PC, and you can just cut the front out. Don't tell anyone I told you to do this, but you can cut the front out and you can get rid of the brand, and then it just looks like a normal video. You haven't, it's a completely non-branded video. So that's another really good tool to use, something that I've been using recently. Also, guys, I don't know whether you are aware of this, if you are or you aren't, but I keep a kind of like directory of all the tools that I kind of use or have used over periods of time in Virtual Miss Friday, or things that have been really, really highly recommended by the people that I work with. And I put them all inside that directory. So in there as well, you'll find all sorts of conversion tools, things for digital signing, things for editing videos, marketing tools, all kinds of things. So if you're ever stuck for tools, then you might be able to find something in there that could work for you. So I'd share that while I'm here. Megan says, I see what you mean about the free voices. Yeah. It's funny because the premium voices are actually quite good. I did find an English voice that sounded sort of natural in the premium voices, but the free ones were like slightly robotic. I don't know, is that the polite way to say it? It doesn't sound supernatural. It doesn't sound supernatural, sounded a little bit supernatural. Yeah, it's funny. That's why I like working online with these tools, like you can go onto these sites and just have a good old laugh, even though you never intended to, by finding this. Yeah, Ellen says you're awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes left to go of time before I let you guys go. So if you do have any other questions, let me know. I'm really super excited about this. If you've got any questions about 1sourcing, or thinking about joining 1sourcing to be part of this brand license movement that we're starting, and you have any questions about that and you don't want to pose them here, then do please feel free to email support@virtualmissfriday.com with anything you want to ask. Really, we're always happy to help. Little quick reminder, people keep again asking me about when I'm going to stop work and take time off for the baby, and the answer is not. I'm still only just planning on taking the day that the baby arrives and then maybe the day after, and I've just blocked out, you know, calls that week or whatever just while I settle in. But I'm still here, there's no change. I'm still going to be working every day, so I won't just disappear or drop off the map. If you guys need anything, and also for those who are in my coaching, essential coaching and marketing suite, or doing the protege coaching calls, don't forget to book your call in if you haven't already done it, as soon as possible, because there are some limited slots available in April and May still. So yeah, anything else you guys want to chat about? I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Ellen's going to email any questions. Perfect, Ellen. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're going to coordinate this American thing, but certainly, I mean, I did send an email out with the link to my list when Megan did it, but maybe we can do another one or something. Or maybe we can start a chat in one of the groups. Yeah, do reach out to Emily. It's Ellen. Why does it look like Emily when you read it? That's terrible. Sorry, it's Ellen. Ellen. Why am I saying this is Emily? Just blame it on the pregnancy.
I was saying Emily because she's the one I did the interview with.
That's why.
Oh, right. Okay, we didn't just get that wrong.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, are we good? Any final questions? Anything anyone wants to share? Say, be open about? This is a safe space. No? Okay, cool. So we're going to leave it at there this time. We'll be back next month. Need to think of a topic for next month. So if there's anything particular that you want me to go through on the call next month, do email into support@virtualmissfriday.com. And I will be able to potentially put together a class or something like that for this call, or something that we can touch on for this call that is going to be useful to you. Stephanie, thank you for joining. It's been lovely to see you. Hope to see you again next month. Amanda says thank you. Thank you to everyone. And as always, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always here for you when you need me. Okay, guys, take care and hopefully see you again next month. Bye-bye.